So today I just made a kind of grayish-green eye look just to get back into the making of videos, because I did make videos but I didn't have time to edit them. We did some renovating in our house and it gets really messy when you do that, so everything was not in place anyways and I didn't have time. So now I have time getting back to it, and slowly hopefully. And yeah, so thanks again for watching. Hope you're still using your colors. So as always, some kind of eyelid primer, and this time it's Smashbox Lid Primer, and it's very, comfortable to use like this. And I have a sunscreen on already for at least half an hour, if not more. So I put also a little bit under here. To begin with, in the crease, I will just take this kind of medium light grey. This one is from Il Maquillage, so it's like a single eyeshadow, just light grey kind of thing. And then this Bourjois, that's more known I think all over. It's number 7, Intense from Bourjois, and it's like a hacky green kind of thing, greyish hacky, if you will, with some slight golden shimmer in it. But it's not, something that really shows up on the lid, I think. So I will mix those together with a usual fluffy brush like that for the crease. So I will have, something that goes with those kind of colors from this palette. But those are all shimmer in the YSL palette, as most of the time I think. YSL kind of likes the shimmer and sheen thing. So, but I like something matte in here, where anyways it's standing out, as you know, if you've seen some of my videos. That's the way I do my crease color usually like matte. And I will take it kind of like this, little bit of a wave to it to get to the brow like this, kind of make a shadow go like this inside like that. Okay, so for the brow bone I will just take this MAC powder. It's one of those mineral skin finished natural ones, slight color in it but not too much, and it's not too matte either, so it doesn't make it too chalky, I think. So I think to begin with I'm taking this one, but the biggest one from here, this one, which is kind of a gray-green. I'm taking some of that on a big brush. Okay. Don't know why I leave those there, but So I have some on, and I'm putting it here, kind of tapping it on, because these tend to have some fallout too, I think, So packing on some more, just in the middle part, kind of like a thing like this. Just patting on. It's also, I think, better for the eyes. Not to do too much, Sometimes I don't have patience, so then yeah, I just go for it. And then I will just take this brush again. So kind of to go with this palette now, I'm taking the lightest color, which is a light beige, I would say. This one here. And a little bit of a smaller brush. This is kind of I think it's like a lip brush, but who cares, if it works for something else. It doesn't matter what it says on it. Yeah, well. So it's nice and soft anyways to put here. Some light color. Kind of blending it into the other one. Slightly, but not too high because it's really shimmery. So as you can tell, this part here where I said usually I go down with the matte color from the crease down here too. I'm gonna have to do it again, of course, because it just looks far too puffy, all this here. It's not dark enough. So I'm probably gonna go back to both colors, maybe a bit more of this one, which is a little bit darker. I might even take just that one and this one. Dip it in that color, and again go kind of tapping in the color first, so I get some color down there, not just blending like that. Kind of dabbing on some color before I blend it. I'm using the same brush. Even up here a bit more. kind of letting it go over all this triangle thing that goes here. All this big area, because I have a big area here that it's like no man's land. It's good for nothing, you know, special. So it needs to be something like kind of matte and something that you don't really see, but something that makes it a bit darker, maybe like that, without being much of a anything. Which this color for this look is kind of good for that. So I'm doing that now then. This area here, but kind of fluffing it up like that. And then out to the crease. And then of course I have to go again with the MAC powder a bit and diffuse it maybe, if you will. Yeah, and now of course some glitter came into it because of the color I put here, so I should have done this before, but I did it now, so who cares, you know. Some sheen and shimmer. If I didn't like that, I wouldn't have this kind of a palette to begin with. Before I start with the darkest grayish green from this palette, I will take the kind of a bronze color that they have here. This one here. I'm using the same one that I used for the inner corner, because there's sheen in all of these, so I'm taking this one under the eye a bit. Kind of putting it on the side. And this brush is a bit too big for this, but never mind, I will clean up if there's too much from it. I'm taking it all the way to get some color in here too. You know, kind of a warm color against the cool colors. Yeah, I tend to do that all the time. Just because I have kind of a neutral skin tone, so it looks good if I do that kind of thing. Anyway, I don't think anyone should like stay away from a color just because it's a cool tone and they are a warm tone, you know. You can always put some of that kind of color in the look, I think, without making it look completely off, like, I think so. I mean, if you like, of course, if you like all colors and you want to try them and play around with color. If you don't, then don't. It's as simple as that, huh? It's just color. Yeah. Now then I'm taking the darkest color from here, which is also a grayish green, but a darker one. Yeah, it looks kind of gray like this, but there's definitely green in it too. So now I'm taking a brush like this, kind of, that you can also use it under the eye, and also flip it over and then you have like a bigger kind of contouring brush. So I'm starting under, on top of the other one, as close as I can, like this now then. Because if I have just this bronze kind of thing going here, that won't work. So I'm doing this first on both sides, and then I will go also over the top of the, you know, in the outer corner kind of thing, probably. How many things can you do on an eye, huh? Kind of a lot, but if you have eyes that start with wrinkles, there's less things you can do and still feel like comfortable, at least I prefer having things done differently nowadays than before, and of course I have to clean under and clean around and everything. So now again I'm taking the darkest color for the outer corner and the same brush like I did here, and I didn't blend it yet, so I'm just kind of pushing it in there again then. Because as I said, those eyeshadows are really soft and they tend to fall out like that, fall down. Yeah, so I kind of try and push them on like that before I blend anything. And probably I will put it on like twice at least and blend together, you know, the usual thing that you have to do to make it last. And I will kind of push it in here too, like that. And right now it looks really silly. Let's hope it won't stay like that. Oh well. Ah, by the way, I was just thinking about saying that there always is like bioderma, but I think I found something better. And I already saw somebody talk about this on YouTube, but it's the Garnier version of bioderma, and I just find that it cleans better. It also doesn't have a perfume, and it's so much cheaper like, I don't know how many times cheaper it is. I'd say at least 3 or 4 times cheaper. So this needs some blending, right? And I have a lot of fallout here, so I'm gonna have to clean it soon enough. Without cleaning the brush, I'm just taking it here in the outer corner, mostly in the outer corner to begin with. Then I will clean the brush, because here it's where I need the dark color anyways, most of it, like that up. Like a triangle thing here, but not really a triangle, of course, since I try to soften the eye looks. Now another brush from the inside out. Inside out. Also meeting the dark one here, making it softer. I will probably take this brush and clean up a bit on a tissue and slightly go here under. Not all the way inside, so I won't get the dark color in there, but you know, a little bit here. And then I need to clean up, because this starts to look too messy. Like usually my makeup looks really messy because I don't like to clean all the time, you know. I'd rather clean up once and have it done. So that's better done in the end then. Well, but for the sake of the video, for the sake of somebody who gets really tired of seeing, you know, these black things falling down. Of course I don't have any foundation on yet, because that's the way I'd like to do my makeup. Otherwise, you see, I have to clean half the face just to get rid of the fallout or whatever when I'm touching my skin and all this. So I decided to use a really dark blue like this for the inner waterline. I don't usually do anything for the waterline, but these I find work really well, and it's a Smashbox one. Always Sharp Waterproof Kohl liner. So it's a kohl liner. They have new ones like this that also like just like eye pencil, and those you're not supposed to put in your inner waterline, as much as I can understand from it. But these are good for it. So I will put this dark blue inside. You know, blue always blue. Well, why not blue? Yeah. So, and I like these because you don't have to sharpen it. So, and I really kind of just draw it on there. Maybe not all the way, and maybe all the way, I don't know. Half the way. Maybe just like that to begin with. And also on the upper, you know, waterline. Or tight line, or what you want to call it. But you know, all over. Just not in the inner part, because then it kind of just makes it, closes my eye, I think, a bit. And it just makes it look a bit dirty. So I will do that off, you know, camera, because it looks just disgusting to do all these things, but that's the color I'm going to put there. Oh, and this, the name for this one is French Navy, and it is, the, as I said, waterproof kohl liner. On top I will use this super liner from L'Oreal, and it's in black. Does it have any other name? Extra black, and it's a glossy version, turns out. I didn't even see that. But you know, you shake those up. And then kind of just pressing it in there, because now then, since I did take the Revlon liner up like that, and you see there's kind of a gap between the down and the up, you know, like that. So I'm taking the darker color from this palette with a smaller brush like that, pressing it in, pulling it out slightly, pressing it in to meet the triangle here, like that. As much as I can, you know. And after it's completely dried up, I actually might go a little bit over. And if I do wear, you know, a kohl liner in the inner waterline, on the waterline, whatever. I tend to put it on twice at least, because the first time my eyes start to water a bit, and then it kind of comes, half of it comes off in a funny way, and then I'll just let my eyes relax, and after a while I go over it one more time, and then it's much better. I'm using this Dior pencil for the lips, and it is Fig. Yeah, that's just it, Fig. Kind of a neutral brownish rose pink. On top of it, this same kind of color lipstick from Dior, and it's number 712 from the lipstick Dior Addict lipstick. It's those softer, more transparent but not completely transparent ones. It has a lot of payoff and it's very moisturizing. So for, you know, the foundation still, I know it's still a bit red and it's a bit not the best today. Well, I'm trying to go over where it went already inside the lines. Also the under eye concealer doesn't conceal, it just makes it look worse, but so be it. Today I'm not going to start, you know, cleaning it up. It was a mistake to use the green tinted primer before, because it definitely is different to the Smashbox one that I used, I think, for 2 weeks almost, because it's hydrating and it goes much better, it seems, to those foundations that I used today. So anyways, I'm using this also a Smashbox product. It's the Halo powder, and this one I think is in Fair. With a fluffy brush like that. Dipping it in. Oh, that's too much in one time. Tapping it off. It's still a lot. So I'm putting it on a bit like this first. Anyway, here I need more. Here less. Here I'm putting just because I want to use a bronzer or something like that. I will use, I don't know, I used those Smashbox products for a while now. These, again, I have 2 of these bronzers. This is the darker one, I think. It's Suntan Matte. And I realized again how nice they actually are. I just been using those with sheen inside for a long time. And these are matte, so, you know, it's a different thing, but also very, very pretty. And I'm using it with this flat kind of a brush. Kind of taking it in like this, from the side a bit, like that. Tapping it off. And kind of just dabbing it in like that, on the side. Same thing here. Dabbing it in. I'm pretty light high up, so I won't get it, you know, by mistake, that it will be down here in the end. Because then it will just, you know, make all this more droopy. Oh well, we don't want the droopy now then. And of course I need to blend it out, but I'm still, you know, just taking the side of this brush and going along here. Kind of the side end, you know. To continue with the cheeks, I'm using this Mimi bronzer from Dior, which is kind of a, yeah, bronze, but with a lot of red in it. So, you know, yeah, I don't think it's like really maybe a bronzer for a lot of skin tones, but for my kind of skin tone it is pretty good. Because I'm never in the sun without, you know, getting some red, even if I'm trying to, you know, there's always some redness coming through in my skin tone. So I'm using just a brush like that. And also on top and high up here, because this one has some shimmer and sheen in it, so, you know, I'm still using those because I love it, but, and I think it just looks better on my skin to have that kind of thing inside the products. So yeah, and I will still use a highlighter here, so even if it looks now a bit dark and sharp, it will blend out with the highlighter. So I prefer that way than to over blend now then, because then I just blend out the redness in the skin. I just took this big brush to go over a bit everywhere before I apply the highlighter, so, you know. Blending, but with a really soft brush. So I decided just to go with something I had here for quite a while, and I didn't use it a lot because it's kind of a lot of shimmer in it. But it's actually in the evening now, so I decided to use this Smashbox Prism, and it's a pink shimmer, like highlight shimmer. But it's not too light and not too dark, but there's a lot of shimmer in it, so I'm using just a fan brush like that. This is just a Salvador synthetic brush, like artist brush. And it's very soft powder, as you can see, it's like all over the place. So I'm just taking it here, slightly going down like that, and it's already like full of shimmer and sheen. But I like using this kind of pink together with, if I have a little bit more of a bronzy kind of blush or bronze all together, I like to blend it with some pink to get it a bit more fresh looking for me. Like if it's actually a sun kind of thing going, even if it's very synthetic sun. So I'm actually taking it down here a little bit too. Just because it's pink and because I kind of like it. And because it's not in the middle of the day. Because if it is, it will be completely shimmery in the sun like no other. But since it's not, I'm taking this a little bit to blend it in. Also here. Like that. So yeah, it's a pretty color. But as I said, not something you might want to wear in a, you know, in a place where I'm, but it's in the sun every day. So it's better in the evening for sure. On the nails will probably be these colors from OPI. It's from the 5 Shades of Grey collection. I have nothing to say about, not a book, not a movie. I didn't read it and I didn't see it, and I'm not intending to do anything like that because I just heard crap about it. So, Dark Side of the Mood is this one, which is a really, really dark grey with some blue thing going. Yeah, undertones of blue. And this pretty dark medium grey. And I love greys like on my nails. So all kinds of greys. So if you're a grey lover, this whole collection is really, really pretty, except for the red that's in there. I don't know what that's not grey, so I'm not talking about the red one. But there's 5 really pretty grey ones. Embrace the Grey is this one. So really pretty one as well. Like grey is so neutral and still a bit more than just a beige neutral. Like, yeah, a bit more interesting, I think. So why not show also the rest of the colors in the collection? I mean, yeah, why not? Because I don't have the red one. I have the rest because I love grey, as I said. So this one is Cement the Deal. It's a lighter one. Like, this one is a darker grey. This one's a lighter grey. You can see that, right? Yeah. So also a pretty, really pretty light grey. And then there's a really pretty silver, which I thought will be a bit, you know, boring silver. Silver boring. But what I did, I used even all of them except for like all these 3 in one time. These 3, right? No. Yeah. These 3 I think I used together. And then I just used these and these, you know, on few fingers, on 2 fingers or something. And it's really pretty. It becomes really pretty together. So I should probably, there's enough swatches and stuff for this on the internet. So yeah, but they really, if you love grey, you're gonna love all these 5 colors. The red one, I wouldn't even look at it any closer because it's another red, you know, it's not grey. So yeah, that's just about the OPI. And yeah, so I hope you have a really good beginning of this new year and that you stay well, that you still enjoy life and all the colors we have in it. And yeah, so thanks again for watching. Hope to see you next time.